Hi everyone, in this video I'll show you how to create this cool abstract animation in Blender. So let's get started. The torus, right click, vertical split, switch to geometry nodes, hit N to close this, hit new. Now shift E, extrude mesh. We can control this with color ramp. Just here, hit color ramp. And now we can adjust this. We can make a noise texture. I make it just like this, detail in 0, and now destruction I give it 2. Shift A, distribute point on faces. Now, as you can see, we have in every point, we have this, but we want to instance this point to another object. To do that, Shift A, instance on point. Now, as you can see, the torus is going. So in mesh, I select icosphere, make it in 4. Now go back to geometry nodes and drag this icosphere here. Connect geometry to the instance. Left click and change it to small. Make it in relative. We want to random this scale. So here, select random value, switch to flow, and here make it in minus 0.1, and here I make it in 2 and connect it to the scale like this. Now as you can see, we can control this scale. You can switch to 4D, and now Shift A, scene. We want to animate this. So select scene time, connect to W. Now if we play, now we have this animation like this. It's very easy. Now if you want to make it smoother, just here in timeline, right click, interpolation mode, and select linear. Okay, now we are almost finished with geometry nodes. Just I want to duplicate this extrude mesh, right click, duplicate, and I put it here. And now as you can see, we have this sphere like this. So I increase, I make it 1.5 like this. And now this random, I change it. Maybe I make it in Poisson disk. Now we can play with this color ramp. So right click, insert keyframe, and I go here and I change it. Maybe I make it like this. Right click, insert a keyframe. Oh, I forget. Here we make it like this. Right click, replace a keyframe, and they go in the end and they change it. Maybe I make the flow bigger. Right click, insert a keyframe. Right click, insert a keyframe. Now if we play, now you have this cool abstract animation. Now let's set material for this. So Shift A, set material, and I go here, hit new, and now we have this material 0.1. I make it here. Okay, now I add a plane, S to make it bigger, G, Z down. And now in edit mode, select edge mode and select this one and extrude it in z-axis. Go back to object mode. I add a bevel. Make it smaller like this, maybe just like this, and give it some segment. Right click, shade smooth. Now, Control Alt numpad 0 to active the camera. Hit N, view, camera to view. Now we can adjust the camera. Okay. I add an area light, GZ up, S, and they make it bigger like this. I give it 150 and they change the size. I give it 2 meter. Now here in Eevee, switch to cycles. Active a GPU if you have one. Decrease this number here to 128. Active the noise and switch if you have a RTX to optics. Active motion blur. In color management, select high contrast. Now I go to render view. Now right click, duplicate this light, GX, move it here. Right click, duplicate, GX, make it here. This, right click, duplicate, GY, and they make it here. Okay, Shift A, search for join geometry. Make it here. Now select the group input and connect it. Now you have the torus with this icosphere like this. Now right click, duplicate this material and give this torus another material. So I go here and I add a new material and here I select 2. I switch to shader editor. This torus, I make it in glass like this. Now select icosphere and select material 1, roughness down, tip surface, make it in 1, add a hue saturation value, connect color to base color, and add object info. Connect random value to the hue, and now you can change any color and you have a random color. So I select the blue here. You can play as you want now to give your object the color that you want. Okay, I select torus. I change the rotation. Select the plane. Make it white. Tip surface, make it in 1. Left click and make 2 in 1 and change this. Now if I go here to render one image to see how it look as, now we don't want to see this, the shadow of this area light like this, so we'll leave this image. It's almost finished. Okay, to disable this shadow, I select the first area light. In visibility, I uncheck the glossy. I make it for this too. I select the torus, right click, shade smooth. Now, if I render the image, now we have a better result. There is no shadow of this area light. Now we have this animation like this, but we can make it better. Just I select this icosphere. Here, right click, insert a keyframe. Go in frame 120 and change this location in x-axis and right click, insert a keyframe, and I go here and I make it in x-axis like this. Now we have a better animation. Right click, insert a keyframe. Now if you play, we have this animation, but we don't want to see this original icosphere in the final render. Disable it here, and now we have this animation without this original icosphere. Now you can choose a better angle for your final render. So this tutorial is finished. I hope that you like it. If you want to watch more videos like this, please check the video in the end.